Hi everybody, Nigel the Review, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Yes, I'm back again with another review. I've been spending money again. If you remember back last week, I think it was, I reviewed this book. This is the Fokker F1 DR1. It's the second in the series. This is the first one. This is volume 1, this is volume 2. Remember I reviewed this and we looked at the 1/32 scale Meng / Wingnut Wings kit. And then Ray informed me that this was coming out. He sent me a copy for review and I've reviewed it and it's wonderful. It's a fantastic book, lots of illustrations, photographs, period photographs, but also a very large section on how to build this. This is the 1/24 scale Fokker DR1 now from Meng / Wingnut Wings. And this is apparently a beautiful kit. Now I haven't looked at this yet. It's just arrived from Aerons and this was on special and I bought the last one. So it retails, this one at Aerons, it retails for $79.99. I got it for $53.33 because it was on special, but they only sell off, say they've got 12 kits in stock, they'll sell off 6 at a special price and then the other 6 are normal. And they've actually got this kit for sale now as QS003S, which is the special edition, for $79.99. And it actually has a the blue cross, the Blue Max cross in a case and everything. It's normally $119.99, sorry, and it's reduced to $79.99. And I've just looked now. Today is the 27th of October 2023. I've just looked, and they only have 4 left at that price. So once those 4 are gone, it will go back up to $119.99. So if you want to get this kit and those 4 have gone, this one's $79.99 if you're not worried about having the cross. So this is, as I say, it's part number QS003. It's the Fokker DR1 triplane from Meng. Beautiful box art and not at all glossy, so we don't get the problems with reflections from the light. So we've got some notes about the model down here. So it perfectly replicates the Fokker DR1's exterior details. The kit includes exquisite cockpit and engine interiors. The wing fabric covering designed by digital sculpting looks realistic. Thanks to the one-piece aircraft machine gun cooling jackets machined by special metal processing technology, the precision construction of the aircraft machine guns is realistically replicated. That'll be interesting to see. The seat safety belt is made of special flexible material. Interesting, it looks and feels like the real one. This kit includes 4 typical paint schemes. This kit includes fine PE parts. So looking forward to seeing what's in here, I must say. It sounds bloody awesome. So going around the box here, we have on the side the AK paint callouts. Yeah, okay. And then here we have aircraft of Manfred von Richthofen, JG1 Deutsche Luftstreitkräfte, March 1918. So you can see here he's starting to get the red, but he's still got the striped canvas on the side. End of the box is just basically the same as the other. It's a big old box actually. And then here we've got some words about the aircraft, and then we've got some words about the kit there you can read should you wish to. There you go. And then here we've got the Lieutenant Ernst Udet, Jaster 4, Deutsche Luftstreitkräfte, June 1918. So that's a very nice looking aircraft, and that is actually the one that's on the front of the box. You can see here we've got the striped wings and everything. However, reading this, it would appear that there are some errors with the decals. So unfortunately, aviatic's your answer for decals and stuff, but if you're not worried about accuracy, you're not like me, not a rivet counter, then don't worry about it. Just go for whatever scheme you want. So opening the box, as I say, I haven't looked in here. We can win cash prizes. They're basically asking you to send photos of your built models. So there we go. So we have sprues, and as you can see, they haven't done what Meng would have done. The box would have been, Wingnut Wings would have done. The box would have been that big. Okay, so in fact, it's interesting to we'll have a look in a minute maybe, but I'm interested to see if this sprue is actually the size of a Wingnut Wings box. So we've got 1, 2, 3 large sprues there, and then we've got a little clear sprue. We've got a very funny shaped sprue there. That's all the engine parts, looks exquisitely detailed. Got 2 sprues in one bag there, that's wheels and everything that's doubled up. And then we've got a bag here, it's all been rubbing against each other. We've got the cowl there, we've got 2 different propellers. And then we've got our axle aerofoil there. We've got a control column there, which is amazingly not broken. And then here we've got a box of, looks like a box of photo etch. And then here we have a bag with instructions in, and then we have the lovely decals facing up. They should be facing down. And that looks like seatbelt material. So yeah, very nice indeed. Kempf, that was so true, funny how it seems. That was him, wasn't it? Little song for you there. 2021 Meng, made in China. So they're going to be Meng decals, which I've never had a problem with. But when you get the big ones like this, they may not be so friendly. And then we have an empty box. So there we go. Right. So let's have a look at the kit. And we'll start off, as we usually do, by having a look at the instructions. And we've got these silly cards that Meng put in. I wish they wouldn't put these in and charge a quid less for the model. I don't know why they have to do this. They put these cards in. There's the instructions. So you have these cards, and this is in all the different languages, and it's telling us about the Wright brothers and the Fokker Scourge and all that. And then we've got Chinese, Japanese, Russian, whatever, all the different languages. So I don't know why they do that. It must cost them a fortune to do all this. Just don't waste your money. So looking at the instructions, small little book, and it's a little bit glossy, unfortunately. Let's zoom you in a bit. Let's bring you in a bit closer so you can see what we're looking at. Right, so we'll ignore the glossiness for now. In fact, if I turn this light off. Okay, so we'll have a nice look at little look through these instructions. Very small little manual. So opening up the first part of the manual, make sure we're all in frame there. Yes, we are. So you can see this because it's very glossy, this paper. So I've turned the light off so you don't get the reflections. But the trouble is, I can't see it. So if I say something wrong, that's why. All I can see is a glossed out piece of paper with little writing on it. So here we've got the 4 different versions we've got going on here. So you probably saying here you need to choose which version you want to do. It's always wise before you start a model to know what you're going to do, because quite often you'll get like, you know, halfway through and it'll say version A you need this, version B you need this, or C and D has this. You need to know what to do. Meng are pretty good at this. Some companies, mentioning no names, but some companies just give you option A and B. Well, they don't give you the option A and B, they give you an option like use that part or that part. They don't tell you what era it's for, whatever, you just don't know. But here they'll tell you what it is. So we've got some health and safety stuff here, telling you to read the instruction manual and everything. More health and safety stuff, and then we've got all our tools and glues and everything in it, and they're sort of promoting their own stuff, their own Meng glues and Meng knife and Meng this, that and Meng and everything else. So just use whatever you want to use. So going into the manual here, I need to stop moving it. So we're starting off with the seat belts. We'll have a look in a minute. This is that nice seat belt material. We'll have a look. And then here we've got the seat belts going together. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to go through the instruction manual and then I'm going to come back to the book. So we're going to look at the instructions, if you like, twice in a way. So we've got our seat belts going together here. We've got the photo etch buckles and everything. We've got lap belts there, and there's the shoulder harnesses there. And then we're going to add the seat, add the cushion, add that to the seat mounting bulkhead there, which has actually got canvas on it. And then on the back side there, they're showing you how to attach those belts or paint them or whatever. Let's attach them there. And then here we're onto the oil tank and the ammo belts. They're telling you here where to remove the sprue nibs from, which is a very nice touch for the newer modelers. This model actually might be all right. If you're a newer modeler and you want to build a biplane, there isn't very much rigging and it's big. So it's a big scale, so it's going to be a bit more chunky. It's not in any way a big aeroplane, it's tiny. Somebody did actually message me and say, is this right? I've put this next, they got the 32nd scale Meng one, they put it next to a model of something else. It's bloody absolutely tiny, and it is, it's really small. Even in the 24 scale, it's still a small model. So you have the ammo bins there, I believe, and the fuel tank is that, I think. And then we've got the carburetor pipes going in there. They call them, I don't know why they call them carburetor pipes, probably because they're carburetor pipes. And we've got the altimeter going down here, and we've got some fuel lines there as well. I think that's fuel lines. And then we're building up the cockpit. We've got another decal to go on there for a compass, I'm guessing that is. And then we've got the option of 2 control columns here. And here you can see they're telling you versions A and C, versions B and D. So you've got the 2 different control columns. If you don't like the plastic ones, I have seen on the Aviatik website and on Hanant's, because Hanant's do Aviatik products, you can get 3D printed ones if you don't like those. So you can fill your boots, and you can see a lot of it as well. It's a very open cockpit. And then you've got the cockpit side going in there, and then we're adding the seat, adding the oil tank, the fuel tank and everything, and then all that's going together. Again, they're giving you some colour call-outs here. I would completely ignore them, other than sort of, it says there 258 or 401, and on the back here you've got 258, which is German light olive green. Well, that's XF76, isn't it? And what was the other one? 258 and 401. 401 is gloss black. Well, you can't argue with that one, so you can use any gloss black. So you know, that's what you want to be doing. You know, I wouldn't be trusting the AK Meng colour callouts. So there we go. And then we're going to bring the other side of the cockpit in together, and then we're adding in our lap straps, and then here they're showing us the rigging for the internal bracing, and then we've got the control column wires going in there as well, which is all very nice. So very nice indeed. Here we've got where we're going to drill some holes. You've got to drill these holes here at 45 degrees there for the lifting hooks at the back. We're lifting handles, got some holes to be drilled in the front if you do inversion A or B. And also here, they're telling you to drill out the 2 rearmost holes. I seem to remember seeing somewhere that the 2 forwardmost holes are an early aircraft and then they move them back, or vice versa. So check your references. It's all in these windsock books anyway. There's everything you need to know in the windsock books. You know, since when have you bought a book and it's made you buy the kit? That's what's happened here. I didn't even buy the book. The book was sent to me by Ray. Looked at the book and thought, I got to get that kit. It just looks great, and you'll see why in a minute. So we're putting the fuselage around the cockpit there, so we'll have the seams to deal with, and then we're going to build up the firewall here, or the bulkhead, and then going to add that to the front of the fuselage. We've got a piece going here with the stitching in it, which is a nice touch. You've got those handles going in the side there to those pre-drilled holes. And we've got some photo etch surrounds for the holes where the control cables are going to come out. And then we've got a piece going in the side there if we're doing versions A and B. That's what we're drilling those holes for back there. And then we've got this round one here if you're doing version C. So they're actually plastic, they're not photo etch. You've got a square cover or a round cover. So again, check your references in case you're not doing version A, B, C or D. Adding the tail plane and the fin there, very nice. And then we've got the support struts there for the tail plane. And then here we're working on the middle wing assembly. So this is the central part of the middle wing. So this is all going to be metal and the rest of the wing is all going to be fabric. So make sure you get all your colours right. And then you're going to put the wing together onto the central part there. And then we're going to add some struts and get that onto our fuselage. And then we're going to build up the lower wing. So there's our lower wing going together, just 2 halves. Note these are wings in 2 halves rather than the normal Meng, the wingnut wings single piece. So some of you may prefer that, so you get a hollow wing. I don't know why, with these World War I aircraft, I don't know why they don't make the wings clear plastic. Can somebody answer that? Because everybody's always trying to get this sort of visual where you can see through the wing, because in real life, when you look at my Gota G1 book, you can see a picture of the aircraft flying and you can actually see through the wing. You can see the sunlight through the wing. Why didn't they make the wings in clear? And then you could sort of just give them a gentle colouring and you'd be able to see through them. I don't understand why they've never done that. But hey, there's an idea for Aviatic. Because it wouldn't have to be perfectly clear, would it? If it's clear cast resin and it's got a few bubbles or something, it wouldn't really matter, because you're just going to paint, you're just using it for a visual, so you'd have sort of a translucent look. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. So the lower wing's going on there with the belly pan going in there, so that's going onto those struts. I would suggest probably, I haven't read that part of the book, but I would suggest probably not gluing them in yet. Probably fit them when you fit the lower wing, because if you glue them in there and you got them out, then you know they could be out in any direction, couldn't they? Surely it's better to glue them in with the lower wing. I'm sure it'll say something about that in the book. So there we go, that's those going in there. And then we're going to build up the machine guns. We've got these brass parts they talked about, so they should look lovely. And we've got the machine belt there, the ammo belt going on. That's with the support as well by the look of it. You've got the other one being built up there, and then we're adding the guns to the front of the cockpit. As you can see there, it's all visual. It's very visible, this cockpit. So worth doing a nice job. And then we're going to add some dials, gauges, whatever, into the instrument panel there, you can see. And then we've got the upper wing going together, and it's telling us to open up some slots there, or clean out some slots or whatever. And then we're adding the upper wing ailerons with the control horns on there. Get some cables on there as well. And then we've got the upper wing struts going together there. And then we're building up the undercarriage. So we're going to put the inner wheel on, put that peg on to retain it, and then glue the outer wheel on. You probably choose just to assemble the wheels and then glue them on. You don't need your wheels to turn, do you? You're not going to be playing with it, running up and down the kitchen table. And then we're going to add our undercarriage to the aircraft. That should be nice and sturdy. And then we've got a support brace going there. And then we're going to put the engine together, build up the cylinder halves. We've got some beautiful valve gear. But remember, guys, this kit originated from Wing.Wing, so it's going to be very, very nice. So we've got the cylinder heads and the valve gear going on there. It looks very nice in the picture. We'll see what it's like actually in the plastic rather than in the flesh. So we've got our exhaust ring going, or is that inlet ring? I think that's probably inlet ring. And then we've got the, yeah, that's going to be inlet, isn't it? Because the exhaust is just coming out the back, I think. And then we've got the main spindle there going in there for the propeller to go onto. I just see it looks like they've got some detail on the spindle as well. And then we're adding the engine to the bulkhead, adding the cowling, building up the propeller. You've got a choice of 2 propellers for BC, AD, as I was saying earlier. And you're going to get a nice wood effect on that when you're going to paint it. And then finally, we've got the rigging. So it looks like they've been looking at Wing.Wing's instructions here. They've got the rigging layout there. As you can see, there's not very much rigging at all. Bracing wires are painted in MC508, which is steel. It's handy to know. So there we go. So there's our sprue callouts. And then going into the back of the manual then, come on, come apart. We've got this beautiful aircraft here from the box front with all the diagonal lines on it. That looks very nice indeed. Very, very nice. So if you're not into painting this, or you don't want to get the aviatic decals, then you've got all that black and white striping to look after you. Here we've got the Rift Hoffen aircraft, the Red Baron, with this mainly red aircraft, still got a bit of striped camouflage on there. And then we've got this lovely one here with the anchor on, with the striping everywhere, that lovely yellow orange tail. Again, be careful of these colour callouts. I'm not happy with them. They just pick the colour closest to them. And then you've got here, this is a sort of pretty basic one, and this has got the what they called, you know, So True and all that. Yeah, I can't think of the name of the band now. But Martin Kempf and everything on there. So very nice indeed. And then here we've got our colour callouts. I can't remember if I've already said this. If I were you, I would ignore these here. Just ignore these numbers. Look at this. Go on to Scalemates. Find a set of Wing.Wing's instructions. And look at all these colours. Like I say, German light olive green. That's for the interior. That'll be XF76. Okay. If you look at the Wing.Wing's instructions, they will give you Tamiya colours or a Tamiya mix. And it'll be the correct shade. Whereas all this here, it's kind of the closest they've got. My Chieftain tank was a perfect example. The Berlin camo, the brown, they called up the colour they had in the range, and it was very much like Hull red. It was way too red, so I had to, you know, make my own brown in the end. But yeah, I just didn't, and they're not very nice paints either. Let's face it, they're AK paints. The real colour is quite nice, but as far as I'm concerned, anything that comes in a plastic bottle, I just can't get on with it. I know there's people out there that absolutely love and live by Vallejo and everything. I just can't get on with it, and I don't see the point in all that problems you have spraying it and stuff. You watch now in the comments, there'll be 150 people saying, I don't have a problem spraying it. Most people do. So anyway, so you've seen the instructions. Now when you come to the back of this book, this is what makes this book so very interesting. This is what made me buy this kit. So when you come to the back of this book, page 41, so it's a 72 page book. So the last 30 odd pages are all on how to build this model step by step, and it's really nice because you've got here, you can see here we've got, they're talking about the seat belts, and they've got the seat belt material, or you can get the Kits World ones, and they're telling you that you've got these springs and everything, you cut them off and this, that and the other. It goes all the way through, and you can see here we've got there's a picture of the real buckles. This is the how to modify the bulkhead. This is the seat added with the aviatic decals on it, and then you've got your fuel tank, ammo boxes. They're telling you about moving the altimeter over to the left hand side, because on the real thing it's on the left hand side. And then we've got here modifying this tube so that the tube comes out of doesn't stick out of the fuselage all the time. And then a stencil going on here. It's talking about the aviatic decals you can get. The various instrument faces on Meng's decal sheet are less than adequate, whilst alternatives on Aviatic's DR1 STRI sheets are a little fuzzy due to printing limitations. For 1/24th scale, appropriate items from Wing Not Wing Fokker D7 Fock early 32067 decal sheets were separated and scanned to 133% before Xerox copying onto whiteback commercial decal film, then glossed before distributing them among the kit instrument faces. For the maximal fuel gauge, Wing Nut Wings Decal 2 was used, Compass 1 and Tachometer 4. Simple operations were repeated for other instruments, and the sewn leather reinforcements around aileron, fuselage and tailplane cable ports. Well, there you go. You see, this is the sort of thing you get in this book that you're not going to get anywhere else. So they're basically, you know, this is what I love about Ray's outlook on all this. He's the same as me. If it's not very good, he'll tell you it's not very good. He's not telling you to go and buy the aviatic decals. He's telling you the aviatic decals are a little fuzzy due to printing limitations. So you're better off using the Wing Nut Wings 32nd scale and blowing them up. So there you go. So there we are. So putting the tank and everything together, I believe that's copper. And then adding that altimeter to the left hand side, cutting away some plastic to replicate tubes rather than solid lumps of plastic. And here you can see we've got the cockpit all being built up. We've got pictures of it going together with all the bracing. We've got the wood effects on the floor, and then here we've got a real black and white photo of the real thing, and then here we've got a reconstruction, and you can see it's all the colours on there, where the reinforcing goes, where all the pipework goes and everything. You've got the seat, got the belts, got the control column there, all looking very, very nice indeed. Still on the cockpit, still with photographs. They're telling you here how to drill the cockpit out. Why he's using these drills, I don't know. They're bloody awful. And then drilling out and actually making that into a slot rather than just a hole. He's showing you how to do that. And then he's talking about painting the inside of the fuselage. And if you remember, I mentioned before about this 5 thou card, piece of 5 thou plastic card, and he embosses it to give the effect of ribs, because the bottom of the fuselage is just dead flat. So that's what he's done there, which is very nice indeed. And then here we've got the engine bulkhead going. He's showing you how to get the machined aluminium finish. And then here you've got another picture of the model looking from underneath by the look of it. And then, or is that looking down in from the top? That's looking down in from the top, isn't it? That gets hidden away with the middle wing. And then here we've got how to paint the tailplane and the fin. Again, you can see this, trying to get this see-through effect. Why didn't they make them clear? Strange, isn't it? You can buy a 32nd scale Lancaster with a complete clear fuselage. Why can't they make these wings clear? Seems very strange. They could even do like Zucchimura have done with the Horton. They could make them in like that fuzzy clear, couldn't they? Because all we want is to actually see light through. We don't need a nice gloss finish or anything. So there's a shout out for someone. And then here we've got the fuselage halves and the wings all being painted up. And here you can see he's doing all the decaling and everything before he actually assembles the model. So there's another little tip for you going on. And then here we are, we've got some blue tack on there, not quite sure what that's for. And then we've got some painted wings here. It looks like he's added some decals. We've got some painting going on the cowl and the middle wing there. You can see here we've got adding some weathering by the look of it. And then here we've got the aviatic decals going on. You'd have to read all the text to get what's going on here. You've got all the fuselage decals and everything as well. So you can see here, very, very nice indeed. And we can see it all coming together. We've got the German crosses there. We've got another decal there going on the side. They're huge decals, but don't worry, I believe they go down beautifully. Doing a correction to something or other here. We've got some stencils there, which I don't believe we have. Oh yeah, we do. We have some stencils in the kit. Here we've got the stripe dope finish. That's what they originally did. And then he's talking about aviatic decals here, and it will be honest, down-to-earth opinion. I may well get some and then use them so you can see what they're like. Attaching middle wing to fuselage. Going through here, you can see that brushed aluminium finish on there. These are those two tubes we talked about where we cut that pipe off and you fit them afterwards. As you can imagine, it's going to make the decaling, the painting, the masking and everything a lot easier. And also you've got an aluminium tube rather than two bits of plastic joined together. It's just, there's no reason to not do it. Here you've got the underside here with the light blue, and you've got the top surface there with some chipping and everything. You've got the struts there. You can see he's masked up the areas where they go. Remember guys, this is a wing nut wing kit. The tolerances are amazing. It's all going to go together very, very tightly, so don't paint anything where you've got a piece going into a hole. Don't paint the hole, don't paint the pin. That's my best advice to you. Mask it up with a bit of blue tack, or you could use a bit of white glue or liquid mask, whatever. You can use anything. Just cover it up. Don't get the paint on. Don't get the paint on there. Adding the machine guns, you can see here all the colours that he's used, and you can see here some photographs of the real things. So very, very nice. This book is invaluable. This is the instructions that Wingnut Wings never got the chance to give you. So there we go. You can see some flare holders there, and then here we've got some details going underneath. Got the upper wing being painted before anything goes on, and he's suggesting here using the Aerocraft upper struts to give it some more rigidity. Not sure if they're actually necessary or not, but you know, I don't know. There they are there. If he says they're necessary because he wouldn't tell you if they were if they weren't. And here you can see the wheels going together using the HGW masks, and here we've got some decals punching out the centres, and then we've got that aerofoil there over the axle adding in the struts, and then here we've got the engine going together all painted up, showing you how to paint it and everything with those copper inlets and everything. He's also added the spark plug wires on there which is very nice. Frog in my throat again guys. Having trouble with pages today. We've got some exclamation marks there, I'm not sure why, but they'll be telling you something. You can see the valve gear on the engine there. Painting the propeller, or he's actually using a wooden propeller here by the look of it. And then we've got the propeller sprue there he's calling up, and then we've got some bracing wires going in. You can see the turnbuckles on there. So he's probably using Gas Patch Elite Accessories Series provided resin turnbuckles in 24 scale. Yeah, we'll have to get some of those then. And then that's all going together nicely. We've got some machine guns on there. There's the bottom of the engine from underside. And then here's the finished model. Very, very nice indeed. You can see that's absolutely gorgeous. And all those decals have gone down beautifully. So here we've got number 17, Fokker Dr.1, 59417, March, April 1918. Number 18 is Fokker Dr.1, early March 1918. You can see all these different images, and I'm sure Aviatic will do decals for all of these. Fokker Dr.1 folios. So there we go. So that's the book. We've got some more information here about stenciling and general colours and everything on there, and on the back cover as well. So it's 30 quid, but honestly, if you want to build this model or any Fokker Dr.1 model, it's just invaluable. Look at the schemes you've got in there, all the colour images and the real aircraft and everything. I've already reviewed this, but go and have a look at it. But it's just so worth having. Okay, so anyway, right, let's have a look at some stuff. So we've got the decals here. I've opened all these bags because they were staples, so I've got to get the staples off rather than force you to watch me take things out of their bags or watch the staples come out. So this is our we'll put the decals back away. This is our fabric material for the belts. And as you can see, let's get the light back on now. We're back to non-reflective stuff. So a piece of silver there from something. You can see it's an actual canvas type material. It's very much like the HGW stuff, but because it's a bigger scale, it's sort of coarser. And it's on this, it's got this backing paper on it, I believe. I believe this is a backing paper on here. My frog's coming back. Yes, there's a backing on there. As you can see, it's got a backing paper on it, so you're going to peel that off and you'll have like a fabric belt. And I think if it's anything like the HGW stuff, yes it will. You can crease it up and make it look quite natural. So they're very nice, and give them a light wash, a very light wash, just a slightly darker colour, just to bring out that fabric texture, and they'll look lovely. Here we've got the decal sheet, which apparently is all over the place, but it looks very nice. Perfectly in register. A little bit of carrier film on the edges of the decals. They do feel quite thick actually. They are quite thick. But you can see there, I don't know if you can see how thick they are. You can see there the carrier film is quite pronounced. But if you're not worried about accuracy and stuff, they're going to be absolutely fine. But if you want to build a really accurate model, probably better off going for the Aviatic set. I'm sure that's how you say it. But again, it's just adding more and more cost to the model. And I think if you add the Aviatic decal sets and some wood decals, and then you get some, you know, metal struts and everything, I think you're probably doubling the cost of the kit. So you pays your money, it takes your choice. Right, so here's our clear sprue. I haven't got this out of the bag because I don't want to scratch it. But you see we've got some little windshields there, little bits and pieces. There's a, that looks like an early aiming device, doesn't it? It's a gun sight. So yeah, very nice indeed. Clear parts. And then here we have the engine sprue. I've opened the bags, I haven't actually got the sprues out as of yet. So here we have the engine sprue. Wow, that's oily. You can see how shiny that is. That is really oily. Yes. As I mentioned in a previous video, I hear people say all the time, particularly one person, they say all the time, you don't need to wash the sprues. They're nobody uses release agent anymore. That's the old days. Well, they do, and I've got a photograph, and if I think of it, I'll put it in now, of a woman working on a machine over in China, and next to her there are 8 cans of release agent. So there you go. This is all very nicely moulded. We can see the fins, the cooling fins on the engine are extremely nice. We've got that beautiful valve detail on the top. We've got the rocker and the top of the valve, which is absolutely gorgeous. You can see that there behind my finger. Got different spindles there. Got the intakes there with the ignition ring on it. So you've got your just thinking where the wires are going to come from. They're going to come out of there somehow. And then the you've got your push rod tubes there, or push rods, not tubes, they're actually the push rods. A little bit of flash on them, they need a little bit of a clean up just to get rid of it. It's just a case of coming along with your knife and just literally just gently scraping away just to get rid of that seam, and then run over the tiny drop of extra thin. And we've got our cylinder heads there, again they're beautifully done with the cooling fins on them. So very, very nice, but also there's enough oil in there to run that engine. It's really greasy. Okay, so here we got the doubled up sprues. We'll just get one of them out. So this is our wheels. So we've got the 2 different wheel options. One's bigger than the other by the look of it. We've got tyre lettering on there. Continental it says. And this one is 760 by 100, and this one is 710 by 85, so they've even got the correct sizes on the tyres. We've got wing struts there. You can see the beautiful rivet detail on the side of them. We've got our ailerons with a lovely fabric finish. You can see here that was going to say wingnut wings. You can see it's a wingnut wing sprue. It's written all over it. Got some fairly large sprue gates on there. That's all good. I'd rather have large sprue gates than short shots or weak parts. So big sprue gates, it lets the plastic flood in fast. You've got some little levers or little handles, whatever they are there, which is very nice. Cool. Right, next bag. Here we have our 2 different propellers. These are just waiting to be painted with wood, and I'm going to have a go. First time I've ever done it, but we'll have a go on camera. We've got our propeller hub there by the look of it, and we have a control column with the cables all coming down the back and everything. You might want to cut them off and replace them. That's one of the control columns. We've got 2 options. And we've got this aerofoil that goes over the axle in the undercarriage, and all that is beautifully moulded on there. In fact, that looks, no it's not, I thought it was slide moulded, it's not. We've got a seam going across the middle, but you can see the ends of the axle there. Riveting detail down the back of around the back of the cannon, as usual with the Fokkers. It'll have a seam line running down the middle of it, so give that a gentle clean up, or just take it all off and then replace the rivets with some rivet decals or whatever. But yeah, very nice, very sharp. Unfortunately, a couple of them have been knocked off there because of the inadequate packaging. I wish they'd put that sprue on the top rather than on the bottom. So here we have, this has got wingnut wings written all over it, hasn't it? Just look at it. In fact, I'm going to have a look a minute. I said earlier about these sprues being the Wingnut Wings. Let's go and get a Wingnut Wings box and have a look. There we go, guys. This is what I was saying. Wingnut Wings always make their sprues fit the box so they don't all rattle around inside. And you can see here, this is my favourite kit on the planet. But you can see there, that fits in there. So if you can imagine, if the box was made that size, you can see with the bag around it, it's hardly going to move around at all, because you can see it's like the same size as the box. So, and for those that don't believe, the non-believers, if you look at Wingnut Wings, the way they do their sprues, the big piece in the corner, there you go, and the radius, look, you can just see it's got Wingnut Wings written all over it, this kit. So there we are. So let's get this beauty out of the way. That is my absolute go-to kit, that one. Go-to, it's a go-to. Right, so back to the Fokker. This is gorgeous. We've got this bulkhead. I'm going to give you a close-up in a minute. I'll give you a close-up of all the sprues. We've got this beautiful bulkhead here, with where the seat mounts, and that's fabric. You've got the fabric cushion there, you've got the fabric seat. The tailplane here with the control horns on it. On the elevator, that's absolutely beautiful. We've got some detail there for the inside, I think that is, or is that one of the ammo belts? We've got that oil tank or fuel tank there. We've got our engine bulkhead. Here, there's the floor. Got our rudder pedals. Some throttle levers. There's another control column there. There's our flares, which have been slightly damaged. But that's nothing to worry about. Ammo belts there. There's our engine mounting. There, got some fuel lines, are they? There's the stitching that goes on the bottom, as I say, I'll show you close up in a second. There's that piece where Ray suggests cutting the ends off, and then we've got our cockpit halves there with the tubular design, which is just beautifully done. That's that bit there. If you look here, where my finger's pointing now, there, you can see that sort of wedge, and that's what Ray's saying, cut that out and replace it with a bit of bent sprue or a bent rod or something, because that is actually like a support gusset rather than a solid lump. And here you can see we've got machine guns. They're in one piece, they're not in halves, so if you don't want to use the brass jackets, you don't have to. Or you've got machine guns over here to use the brass jackets. It depends how nice those brass jackets are. We'll have a look in a minute. I didn't even know they came in the kit. So it's lovely. I'll give you a close-up round the sprue now. You have a little walk round. See, it's very, very nice indeed. Beautifully, beautifully moulded. There's hardly any flash. Hardly any seam lines. Absolutely gorgeous. And when you think, you know, I got this for 50 quid from Hannon's, you know, for that money, it's just incredible. You think if Wingnut Wings had actually produced this, it never would have fallen into Meng's hands, and you'd be paying probably 300 quid for this now. So, in a way, it's like, thanks Meng for getting the tool in, because you can still get this for $79.99 retail, or even, as I say, with the you can get the special one at the moment, as of today, for $79.99 with the Blue Max Cross as well. So this is our next but last sprue. So these are obviously our main fuselage halves. We've got the top of the centre wing there. There is our centre wing with that huge centre support. There's our underbelly there. There's our tail, our fin. Ray has done a nice job of painting that, because actually in that book it really does look see-through, doesn't it? And then we've got an optional here, that's the fairing for the axle. So yeah, we've got ejector pin marks on the inside the fuselage, we'll talk about in a second. So this is the upper lower wing. So this is the lower wing, that's the upper of the lower wing. It's got this beautiful detail on here. You can see on there the strips with the nails in them. Very, very nice indeed. And the detail on that is stunning. All the rivet detail on there. And as you can see here, the bottom of the fuselage is just flat, and that's why Ray suggests, well, actually it's not. It has some ribbing in it. It's not just flat. It's very subtle, you can hardly see, you can only just about feel it, so probably best to do what Ray suggests. I'd do anything Ray suggests. If Ray suggested eating my cutting mat, I'd probably do it. No, I didn't say that, guys. He is the absolute, if you look at some of the comments, what people are saying about him, he's the absolute master when it comes to World War One. So we can see here, in this fuselage here, you've got F1, DR1. Meng, we're going to do two versions of this. There's an F1 and DR1. And you've actually got, in here, you can see, they have written in there, F1. So if you're doing an F1, it's going to be that hole and that hole. If you're doing a DR1, it's going to be those two. So it could be that the Meng instructions are wrong. Be very careful. Not that it really matters if you're not a rivet carrier, but they move that sort of grab handle forward and backward, forward or backwards at some point in the design. So they've got on here DR1. I was just seeing if they had F1 on here. I don't know why they've got DR1 written on there. Very strange. There's nothing there to drill, but it just has, as you can see, it's got DR1 written there. And I'll see if we get an alternative one in the kit. But I don't think we do. Oh, there's no alternative for that, so that's interesting. But no, this is stunning. Those wings are gorgeous. That, as you can see, at 24th scale, you know, when you think a 24th scale Hellcat is like this long, it's a tiny little thing. You know, that's the is that the middle wing or the upper wing? Sorry, that is the upper wing there, I think. No, it's not. That's the upper wing over here. Sorry, it's okay. I'll shut up. How can that be the upper wing with that in the middle? Duh. So that's the middle wing. That's the lower wing. Yeah, they're beautiful and lovely. As I say, we've got some ejector pin marks to get rid of here. That one there I think will be hidden. That one there I think will be visible. That one there. These back here you should get away with. Obviously these you'll get away with, but that one there and that one there you might want to get rid of, and that one there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 to get rid of. And then here we have a circular and a square cutout. So it's looking like you can actually display that if you want to cut that out. I cut within the line and then file out to it. If you, those hatches that they gave you in the instructions, they gave you the option of. You can see there's one there. There's the square one. It looks like you have the option of having them open, so you can display the engine, that area open if you want to. But you've got the round. Got the round and the square there marked out, so you can cut them out. They don't suggest that in the instructions, they just suggest drilling some holes. But you know, you could talk forever just about this one bloody sprue. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll put it away because we've got some little thin sections on there I don't want to get damaged. But I do wish Meng's packaging was a bit better and a bit more thought out. As you can see, I've got a slight amount of damage. I've lost some rivets on something and there's some bits bent. But, here's the final sprue, some of you will be pleased to know. So this is the upper wing, guys. You can see how small it is, and then you've got to add the ailerons onto the ends. But these are the lower sections of the middle and lower wing. This is obviously the lower section of the rear wing, of the main wing. Got this panel here they talked about moving on the 32nd scale kit. So we'll have a look at that, see if it needs to come out. But we've got this beautiful strengthening here. I'm also looking, this is all nice and straight. There's no bow in it at all. So there's no problems with that. That wing actually is slightly, it's got anhedral on it, you can see. That's the, yeah, that's the upper surface. Yeah, that's the upper surface. I wonder why it's got those there if it's the upper surface. As for the control horns, isn't it? But you can see this one's got some anhedral on it. So that needs straightening out. I didn't catch what the others were like. They look nice and straight. Yeah, they're all straight. But this one here, you can see if I push the ends down, you can see the middle is up in the air. It's actually got anhedral on it. And I've also got, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be there or if that is actually some damage there. on that trailing edge. That looks like it was damaged before it even got put in the bag. That's okay, a bit of super glue, soon repair that. So yeah, our undercarriage, no, that's our central wing struts there. As I say, Ray suggests replacing them with aircraft. I believe him, but I don't know. If you're not handling the model too much, I'm sure they'd be okay. But, we shall see. So I'm having to edit this in, so hopefully it'll be quite seamless for you. I forgot to look at the photo etch and these apparent machined barrels, cooling jackets. So let's have a look in here. Oh, this is very nice. So we've got a little foam packet here. This would be handy. This is just the sort of foam you want. A little bit of that. Dip it in your paint for your chipping and stuff. It's perfect. So we've got a little sheet of photo etch, which is beautifully presented, wrapped in plastic. So we've got our gun sights there for our machine guns, and then we've got, it's impossible to show you photo etch brass because of all the reflectivity. We've got our buckles there for our harnesses. As it says in the book, these bits here are supposed to be springs. Just cut them off. Just cut it off there because apparently they didn't have, a lot of them didn't have the springs anywhere or something, or the springs were hidden. Not quite sure what that is there, but really nice indeed. Lots of bits of photo etch in there, so that's pretty cool. Wingnut Wings were never big on photo etch. You look at, you know, the Gota we just looked at, my sort of go-to kit. You know, it's got a photo etch. There's not much photo etch in there. They were never big on photo etch. Now these, I'm just looking for a seam. I'm going to look through my little magnifier. No, they are actually machined brass tube. That's a piece of brass tubing machined for your cooling jackets. And they are absolutely and utterly, totally gorgeous. Now, I should imagine if Wingnut Wings had ever produced this, they would have made these in photo etch, and you'd have had to roll them. So we can sort of thank Meng for this, I think. But they are going to look lovely. Need a bit of a deburr. Put them in a rumbler or something just to give them a little deburr. But no, they are lovely. They're going to look gorgeous. Get them in some blackening agent and make them turn colour. So yeah, so there we go. So that's the bit I forgot. So I'm going to put that back in its lovely little box, and we can return back to the video review with me saying goodbye and everything. So right, so that has been the Meng 1/24 scale QS003, available currently from Callouts. As I say, this one is $79.99 retail. If you get, he's got 4 left as of today. He's got the special there, which has got the Blue Max cross in it as well. It's a big metal cross, and that one's also $79.99. So you're getting like you're getting £40 off. So that's an absolute bargain. You're saving a third. It's the same kit but with the blue cross on it. So there we are, guys. That's been the 1/24 scale Fokker Dr.1. You can also make an F1 out of it, and I would seriously recommend this book if you're thinking about it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.